Drivers behind the line, starting in 3, 2, 1, rebuild.
As in the autonomous period, we see 3 red rods moving. The Technocats trying to score their drum shooter. We've got all 3 blue bots not moving anymore. Their human players are scoring. The red team players are just draining shots into that hub. The Red Alliance seems like it'll lead 16-7 as we exit the autonomous period. One more shot goes in for blue and 1-2 for red. The Red Alliance will lead by 11 points going into driver control. We will have a blue hub active first so they can make up that gap. Technocats are filling their hopper, getting ready for their shift in 25 seconds. As we see Area 5188 beginning to score in theirs. We got 45 with an almost full hopper. They'll be ready to score when their time comes in 13 seconds. We've also got 1018 the Robo Devils getting their hopper full as well. Over on the red side, we have the hatchback starting to move. They're going to start gathering some fuel and bringing it back to their line station. The red hub is now active. They can start scoring. We've got Monster Horsepower beginning to score. The Technocats also using their drum launcher to put some in. The Red Alliance leads 33-14 as we enter the last minute and a half of this match. The Red Alliance has 9 more seconds to score before the Blue Alliance hub will become active for our second to last shift. And the Blue Alliance hub is active. Area 5188 is beginning to score fuel into their hub. We have a large collision in the middle of the field as teams are trying to collect more fuel. Area 5188 putting up few fuel unsuccessfully, closing that gap between the red and blue alliance scores. We have tank teams trying to cross the field to get over and start scoring themselves with the last 3 seconds they have. And the red hub will be active now. After this shift, we will be at the end game period where both hubs are active. 45 is trying to score a few into their goal. Some go to the side, but a few make it in. Your scores are 42-25 in favor of the Red Alliance. As we enter the final 10 seconds of this shift. We see blue bots gathering fuel, getting ready to score in their zone. Some defense being played by Monster Horsepower on the Robo Devils to keep them from getting to their area. That's the whistle for endgame. Both hubs are active and teams can climb. Area 5188 is beginning to score in their hub, trying to close that gap. The scores are somewhat close, only 26 points separate our alliances. Technocats scoring a hopper full into theirs, trying to close that gap as we enter the last 10-ish seconds of our match. Technocats getting ready to score once again with their drum shooter. You see 5188 scoring a few more fuels into the last couple seconds of this match. The Red Alliance! With a score of 70-35, the Red Alliance will take home 3 points for that win.